Gorou makes you pregnant. Gorou impregnates you. So that's helpful. Yeah, we can watch the TGS video.
Guys.
What a title. Power creep is here again. Honestly, the reason why Linnea is like so good is because imagine if Escoffier could use a Hydro third slot unit that was actually good instead of having to use Farina. Because that's basically what's happening with Linnea. Columbina exists and Columbina doesn't suck. Which would be good for a Zabai Albedo team if I don't have Columbina. Yeah, but Columbina does a lot for these teams.
I've also calculated with a different Geo carry, Navia, in a mega wheelchair type composition. It's very possible that moving forward, the Binefa duo will become a trio with Linnea because she fits the team very well and she deals quite the damage.
We need to convert TGS to Binea. I'm pretty sure using Binefa instead of Itloa here, or even instead of C6 Gorou, is a DPS loss. Let me DM TGS. He's done. Who's the most misogynistic Genshin character, TGS? Chat, you can't just say Zajef. I'm not a Genshin character. Low-key Charlotte. Agreed. Honestly, we welcome the Charlotte slander. It has to be a French character. It does.
Do you expect Linnea to get nerfed?
I fully expect them to give her skill an initial hit to prevent Sack from working. It's as good as her Sig right now on those teams, so I feel like they're gonna have to nerf it.
But is the Sig that good? I haven't looked at it, but it didn't seem especially
It's
insane.
not that amazing, but like, obviously on the teams where you're playing Linnea carry, it's pretty good. The problem with Flynn's is that Flynn sucks, though. True. Thoughts?
I think
the rage bait isn't working. The rage bait isn't working. Have you looked at all into wheelchair without a proper on-fielder for Linnea?
No.
I need a sanity check, because I'm getting the team above 160k. The calcs I had for the same teams as you, like with my standards, I'm around 10k ahead. So like it would probably be at around 150k for you.
What's the idea here? Like,
Obeyed is kind of a fraud set, and Night Sky is really fucking good. Zabai is kind of a fraud.
Oh, I haven't got that far yet.
When you have triple Geo, you end up with a lot more Geo app and lining up at like weird times than you can react with the Hydro. Right?
Yeah.
So being able to spend a bit more time on your Hydro character with like doing more attacks is going to get you Moondrift, more Luna Crystallized reaction damage. And I was actually getting, like, with the assumption that you get about 20 Geo apps on Hydro over your rotation with Linnea, Itloa, Gorou, Columbina. Kind of a quick swappy-ish.
Okay, so more on field with Columbina, basically.
Yeah, yeah. I was getting like over 1 mil DPR just from the Moondrift.
It makes sense because as of right now, I'm estimating 5 lunar crystallized reactions from the Moondrifts, plus all the extra Columbina brings with their burst. Which
By
is
5,
not
do you
lot.
mean like five instances of firing, so 15 hits?
5 times 3. 5 times 3.
Okay, yeah, 15. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so there's definitely potential for more.
Especially because the crit buffs from Ilo and Gorou impact that. So if you get to run both on top of Linnea, it's just and the shred from Linnea, you just end up getting so much. And then plus the sack bow tech on Linnea, from what I've looked at, seems like it should work.
Okay.
And I have...
So like you do two big elemental skills at rotation, basically?
Yeah, exactly.
That's interesting.
And you don't even really have to deal with Sackbow RNG. Her skill is damage over time. Like, you just stay on her until it procs.
Also, because with this type of quick swap, it's easier to make a rotation where Gorou fully buffs Linnea. Because I tried, since I'm estimating Zibai's field time at around 12 seconds, using Gorou before Linnea in the rotation, in the team I calculated with Gorou, Linnea, Columbina, and Zibai makes Zibai lose some of the crit damage from Gorou's
12 seconds is a little long.
Maybe I'm being like pessimistic, but because I'm doing three normal attacks with 3 strings of 4 normal attacks and E and the burst when you can use it, or a 4 normal attacks and E.
So no quick combos at all.
No, for now, no, I haven't. I also tried doing the 20 seconds rotation where you do Gorou E, then Linnea, and then Gorou burst and into Zibai, and it was worse.
I had it better when I looked at it. Because having all of the Gorou buffs on Linnea, I guess you're doing 18.5 second average rotation with the nuke skill, right?
Yeah.
I feel like that's optimistic. It looks like a relatively long animation.
Well, I use the burst with Zibai there every 2 rotations though. If that's what you're talking about, maybe I didn't understand.
No, I just mean like your 18 seconds rotation length means that Gorou plus Linnea plus Columbina is taking 6 seconds if you're assuming 12 seconds of Dubai. I feel like that's low if you're doing the nuke skill. That sounds more like what would happen if you're not doing the nuke skill.
My assumption was just that Iluga I assumed 19 seconds with Iluga, and with Goros I use either E or burst, and I think that's shorter, so that just shaved 0.5 seconds.
But like the current, how long do you assume the current rotations to be with Gorou Ilua?
With Goro Iluga, 18.5 seconds.
Yeah, because like no matter which one you replace, Linnea has longer animation if you're doing Nuke E, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it should be higher by a little bit.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Because it should be a bit longer than Iluga EQ.
That's why when I was using Gorou, I was using the Nuke E, but when I was using Ilua, I wasn't.
Well, either way, I think it's interesting that now Goro became better thanks to Linnea because of
yeah, that's really funny. Like, also, Dubai became worse. True.
As I said in the video, when you factor in the interruption resistance, there is a legitimate case for Goro there, even over Constellation 6 Iluga, which is funny.
I feel like you don't need it on Zabai though.
I would agree, because in Stygian a lot of times you're fighting bosses that have a down phase, for example, so it ends up being quite as smooth. But like if you're facing somebody like Sigurd or cheaters like those, it can be annoying. It's worth considering at the very least. It has to be contextualized.
The thing with Linnea is she's less synergistic with Zabai, but I think that just in terms of standalone power, she's very, very good and on a similar level to Llama. It's just that because you have access to all of her strength without needing to also be using Zabai, unlike Llama, where you need to be using a Lunar Bloom carry to get any real value out of her burst. The upgrade from her presence in a Zabai team is lower.
Right, I think Nicole would be, in terms of context and everything, similar to a Llama level support.
I mean, I hope that's true. I hope you get your Vorka to actually be a good unit.
Oh, I'm alone on this boat now because he didn't pull. So
listen, okay.
Come on, man, you don't need Linnea. Come on, pull for what you like.
But like, there's a hole in the boat. You can tell me, oh no, don't worry. I ordered some flex tape and I'll be able to fix the hole in the boat soon. I'm not gonna get in the boat while there's a hole in it. I'll wait. Okay. If they fix the hole, I'll think about it.
What are your thoughts on Linnea for example, for Flames?
We still need to have someone provide actual footage of her attack rate in her different modes. But like, I feel like she just doesn't do that much for that kind of team.
Yeah. I'm not talking like best in slot, but like more so an alternative to Inefa, for example. And for her attack rate, I like the fact that her big skill has like low attack rate, so probably doesn't really affect Lunar Charge at all.
No, but you would want faster attack rate.
You mean to have more Lunar Crystallize also?
Yeah, because like you have Inefa and Columbina are the same speed, and Linnea will never apply Geo 3 times in a row or 2 times in a row, like on the same attack. No matter what, every 2 seconds you're gonna have either Inefa or Columbina hitting on an enemy that has the other element. So you will get lunar charge reaction damage every 2 seconds, no matter what, unless you have like too much Geo app, which would be more than once every 2 seconds. But like, that's not the case.
But yeah, for the Flames team, yeah, if she has just every 2 seconds, it would be fine.
Yeah, the more Geo app, the better. But I think she doesn't have very much, and I don't know, it'll be fine. Honestly, I'm a little bit more optimistic about it on Nefer teams, because Nefer teams you won't have any moon drifts, but it has better synergy with what Linnea is doing. You want a defensive utility for your last slot anyways. You get the EM with no animation time. So you can just, if you don't have the time to spare, you literally just don't swap to her. And you have a permanent like on-field EM buff.
Yeah.
And if you have the time to spare, you go and you get her big Lunar Crystallize hit. Because you don't need to trigger moon drifts for that.
Yeah, I could see that. Definitely. I don't think it would be better than Sucrose.
But yeah, it should be similar and have defensive utility. So I would expect it to be pretty decent.
So you're going for your least favorite design in the game, Linnea, instead?
She's not my least favorite. I just think she's too, like, Honkai-y.
I mean, yeah, I can see that.
But yeah, I'm going for Linnea over Varka any day of the week.
Have you looked at any of the Varka stuff? Like combos stuff?
I saw your tweet about C6 combos.
The thing is, Durin is just doing low damage on the team. That's the main
Yeah.
issue right now. Because compared to Overload, where Durin can do even 500,000 damage per rotation, and depending on whether he's triggering the overloads on the team even more, like on this team is just not great. Like we're talking about the Fontaine level sub DPS. So we have a Fontaine level DPS, Fontaine level sub DPS.
Durin and Farina having a fraud off in 2026.
Mantis damage bonus is basically the average of Fiorina, so
Yeah.
that's a full Fontaine team.
What I was just doing N2C, N2CE, N2C, N2E.
Yeah, my thing is that the charge attack just feels awful to use. Like it feels like you have a sandbag on.
The special charge attack feels so good to use, but you're not supposed to use it because it's not good, and it makes me upset.
Going from N5 specifically to the elemental skill, just like it is a very, very good feeling. But the N5 itself doesn't feel that good because it's low.
Okay, also, I fucking hate the fact that if you input the special charge attack during a string, it could cancel your current attack.
Yeah. It's especially annoying if for long attacks like N4, N5, where like you're in the air and like pre-buffer and you just cancel the attack. It's annoying. My prediction is that Nicole will be the best support that has been released in 6.x because she just has to be better than Bennett.
She has to be. Marco needs to be good.
It just doesn't make sense otherwise because you have Bennett on the team and she needs to be at least 20% stronger than Bennett for the team to be acceptable, and that's a very high level of support.
No, you don't
already.
get it, TGS. It's because Varka's balanced around being versatile, so he needs to have lower DPS.
Oh yeah, well, even if when he gets Nicole, he won't be versatile because that's just Pyro, no?
Yeah, that's why Nicole can't be too good, because otherwise it would make him less versatile.
Yeah, and the thing is, people were saying, oh, Nicole needs to be Anemo because so every Varka team would be good, but that goes against Hoyo versus Interest. Hoyo versus Interest is to make little additions to every team, every archetype, so you have to pull.
I can't wait for Varka to get a best in slot support for all 4 of the elements he can go. Oh, have you looked at Quick Swap with Skirk, by the way?
Oh, but Skirk is just bricked.
Well, she's still kind of better than Shenhe.
Yeah, well, that makes sense. I tried Chongyun. It was okay because it gives you the extra skill potentially, but
I didn't like Chongyun when I tested because even you were still supposed to swamp off before you get the 3rd skill because otherwise your buff uptime on VV is kind of ass.
My Yansan is Constellation 0. I just got her now from the weapon banner and tried the rest.
I actually don't know. What does your account look like? Like, what do you have on your account?
But before Nodcry, I pulled on Mabuika and Citlali, Shilonen. I never pulled on a banner where Shivers was on.
Do you have any calls on Shivers right now?
I think she's C1.
Ooh. I've been going through all of my teams and just playing them on the dummy, seeing how much DPS I get.
What's your best team?
Veressa.
Best team right now is Flames.
You do the big burst combo with Shilonen, right?
Yeah, and now I do it every other rotation. And with one Shilonen E, so not extending the rotation overall.
Yeah,
and
that makes sense.
And especially because the Sig refinement give more energy, so
True.
it's not much, but it helps making it more fun.
Varka's actually the goat on your account then.
It would be interesting to see how the situation shapes up when Nodcry is all done. And Nicole is of course a big question mark, but also Sandrone, with all the different rumors there are, like what are the teams gonna look like?
Have you seen that post that had the really sus leaks about what Sandrone does? There was one that said that the superconduct reaction
just a superconduct special thing that she is.
Yeah, there was one that said that it would store damage basically and do a portion of that damage, and that would be a Veressa team.
That's you remember when you called I think Nilu the artifact set? I think. And so she would be basically Clam. She was basically be the Clam set.
So Cypher. My chat is yapping about fucking Star Rail as if I knew what they were talking about right now.
Every region, I think they do a character that fits well with the next region, and Sandrone would be that one definitely.
Sandrone is gonna fit well with the previous region. She's gonna be the Veressa buff. Trust.